But John, are you ready to get into this call?
Yes, I am.
Okay, awesome. So I'm super excited that we managed to make some time to chat. So I've blocked about 25 minutes out for this. I like to keep them generally, quite simple and straightforward, nothing complicated. So my goal is basically to lead this call and to try and get an understanding of what your goals are for this project, to also discuss any questions that you might have from us, and just pre-warning, this isn't it's not going to be a normal sales call, so it's not going to be a high pressure anything like that, because I'm actually a copywriter, so I'm not a salesperson. It's my job to just make sure that I can help you and that this is a good fit. So if it makes sense at the end, we can talk about options of working together, but then if not, then no problem. Does that sound good?
That sounds perfect.
Awesome, good to hear. Okay, so I mean, I've gone through your questionnaire, and I'm getting a good understanding of what you have in mind. But can you just tell me in your own words what your biggest motivation is for reaching out to us?
Sure. I've been writing copy for um, a couple of people in Toronto, Canada, and for a long time. This is a relationship that goes back to when I first started copywriting professionally about 10 years ago, and we finally decided to do something together. Um, and there's three of us, and Scott tends to keep his ear to the ground on online marketing things more than I do. Um, I'm a for years I was in sales and a sales manager. And then I started writing copy on the side around 2010. And at any rate, this guy's a turnaround expert, and his partner there is an implementation expert, and I'm a copywriter. And we decided to put um, and I mean, we've been banging the idea back and forth for years to do something like this, and we started getting serious about it in June, and then we started seeing Joel's uh, advertisement for doing a mini webinar, and we thought that if it's possible to do something like that, because I've never I'm camera shy. I've never really wanted to do a webinar or anything like that. It never really occurred to me as a um, as the way to do something. But this idea of being able to do something in the 8 to 20 minute category, and then drive traffic to it, sounds pretty attractive to me, because one of the things that um, I don't have really the bandwidth right now to learn is how to do online advertising that's gonna bring enough people to our offer um, to see it in order to sell it, um, and also because uh, I wouldn't know how to put it together. I wouldn't know how to drive the traffic to it. And Joel's argument was really compelling, that since that's what you guys do, that's something that you could put together for us, so that we wouldn't have to worry about it so much. Um, am I making sense?
Yeah, 100%. So I get it. We are the webinar agency. This is literally all we do. So if you want a mini webinar, then you're in the right place. So I just want to get an idea. So you said that you combined a group of three of you. So a person, you're a copywriter, someone in with digital marketing experience, and then you have another person that, well, long story short, combined, you're talking about, correct me if I'm wrong, creating an offer where you basically coach a business owner, all three of you together coach them and guarantee an increase in sales. You're talking about tripling sales somewhere in your form. We'll triple your results. So is
Right.
this just the general idea?
Well, It depends. It depends on where they're at right now. The perfect customer for us is going to be somebody who's had some success, but they just feel like something's holding them back. I know for myself, I've always had kind of fear issues that have really kept me from going out and marketing hard as a copywriter. Um, and so they've got a process that they take people through where they're able to it's an in-depth interview that we tape or that we record, and not only are is Scott able to like really quickly get down to whatever it is that's holding somebody back, but also develop, quickly create a plan to negate that issue, whatever it is. And then once we do that, we use he's also really good at drawing out um, the passion that somebody has that got them started in their business, or sometimes it's a nonprofit. It's just what the driving motivational forces behind the business or the activity that they're doing. Um, and then rather than just simply coaching, we're also going to do um, a lot of the work, uh, either with them or for them. Um, Kind of like what you guys do, except probably what we're having in mind is probably a little bit more instructional than what you're doing. But like, one of the things we'll do is I'm gonna do a complete rewrite of all of their web copy, brochures, email sequences, stuff like that. Or if they don't already have them, create them based on what comes out of that long interview that we do at the very beginning of the relationship. And then our third person is an implementation coach. And I mean, what she's, just speaking for myself, what she's helped me with is things that I was reluctant to do, in order to get started doing my own marketing and putting my service out there, where people can stumble on it and buy it. Um, um, she um, So we get on a Zoom meeting like this, and then actually get online. So like one of the things I was supposed to do, I bought. Um, you're a copywriter? Are you familiar with a group called AWAI?
Yes, that's the American Copywriters Association, right?
Yeah. Um, so I belong to that, and I'd gotten one of the copywriters there um, did a good course on getting business on LinkedIn. And I had bought that course and gone through it a bunch of times, but I'd never implemented things where I never actually started trying to make real connections with the kind of businesses I want to work with on LinkedIn. And so one of the things the Sam did was we got on a call, and we spruced up. Instead of her doing it for me or her giving me homework, so to speak, we were online doing it together. Um, and we spruced up my profile, and I went and I started commenting on some posts, and doing the things you do to start generating relationships, which for whatever reason I'd been unwilling to do on my own, right? So we want to combine this, our our ability to dig in and find somebody's problems, to help them solve it, and to work with them to make sure that it gets solved. So that what we're doing is we're really getting people past this blocker that they have that's preventing them from getting past a certain income, or a certain sales level, or a certain level of engagement with their market or whatever. So we're not a marketing agency per se because I think Scott's probably a fair hand at Facebook advertising. Um, all of my experience has been in web copy and email sequences and sell sheets, that kind of stuff. So we're not a marketing agency per se. We look at ourselves as a problem solver. So we go in and help people who are stuck at this lower level of their business and help them break through that and give them the personal tools so that they can keep pushing forward. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So just a few things come to mind when you say this is firstly, I feel like your offer is attractive, like it's definitely attractive. My one concern is that you're saying that you want to charge 2 to 10,000. I mean, this webinar system, many webinar systems designed, I mean, I've seen 20, 30,000 being sold. So it kind of feels like you're, undervaluing your service right now based on what you're telling me. If you're completely revamping the copy, you're solving problems, there might be opportunities for a higher price tag is kind of the point I'm trying to get across.
Yeah, actually, we had thought about something in the 15 to 25,000 range, but it seems like on the form that I filled out, $3,000 plus was the highest thing they had on what's the price of your offer.
Oh yes, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one, but I did notice that it's a low price. Yeah, okay,
Yeah,
so that makes more sense.
yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting to get an understanding of what you want to do, but what here's a question is what do you want this to become? Like with regards to revenue, to regards to your lifestyle, do you want this to become like a major revenue arm for your new business? Do you want this to, become a supplemental offer that complements what you're currently doing? Where's this fit in your life?
Um, well, if we were to get, we could probably do 4 of these engagements for a month per month. Um, between the three of us. And if we could do that, that would represent a massive increase um, in our combined revenue. Because we're all, the three of us, we're all doing kind of different things, and we're not getting, um, we're not making a ton of money at it, and that's why when we saw the the mini webinar that Joel did, um, we thought, this could be what we need in order to move this forward. So I mean, if we could get, you know 2 of these a month, then it would, um, that would, wow, triple our incomes.
That's awesome. Okay,
Yeah,
well, it's 100% in our bandwidth to make that a reality. Like 4 sales a month is, I mean, obviously I can't guarantee specific results, but it's our past clients have, yeah. So I mean, it's definitely within your means to get that.
yeah.
Um, okay, so I just want to see a few more things. Okay, so it sounds like you're sold on the idea of high ticket. That sounds attractive to you, and that's very good. Um, okay, so it sounds like the high ticket and the shortened version of this webinar is the thing that attracted you most based on Joel's methodology, right?
Right.
Okay, awesome. So I noticed that you mentioned at the start of the call that you were a little bit camera shy. Is this a concern that you had coming into this call?
um, I just always have been. um, and But luckily, the people I work with are super video savvy. So I just have always thought of myself as um, an off-camera kind of person. Um,
Okay, and how are you or someone in your team, are you guys happy with taking sales calls?
Yeah. Both I and Scott have experience in sales.
Okay, so
So
you guys would be comfortable taking sales calls kind of similar to this, so
yes.
not very, yeah. Okay, great. So based on what you told me, I mean, I'm 100% confident that we can help you. So in my mind, it's a home run. You know, we've dealt with similar instances uh, that you're talking about. So firstly, do you have any questions about, you know, methodology or any questions coming in for me based on our process, our methodology? I know you've watched the video, the informational video, but do you have any questions on how our systems actually work?
Um, I'm not sure. I mean, my understanding is that, you would help us, make the offer super compelling. You'd help us put together the webinar, and then you guys would actually drive traffic to the mini webinar as part, excuse me, as part of your service. Is that right?
Yes. Okay. So we've got multiple different levels of service. You would have seen in that video that we speak about three different tiers. So the bottom one is do it yourself, middle one is done with you, high level is done for you. It's not set in stone, but that's generally what we've seen to be the most successful.
Okay.
So, yeah, the webinars are designed to speak to the done for you, the top level client.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and obviously they're the people that value time over money, and they're the people that are most likely to take you up on your high ticket offer. Basically, what you mentioned at the start of this call is that you're not really interested in like learning advertising or learning how to lay out the mini webinar.
Well,
So
it's not so much that I don't want to learn how to do it. Um, um, it's um, it's that I don't want my learning curve or my lack of knowledge to hold us back. I mean, I'm reasonably sure that we could put together, a good video presentation and stuff. But I don't know how long it's going to take me to learn how to do that at the level that you guys can do it, and I don't know how long it's going to take us to learn how to get the best bang for our buck doing like Facebook ads and social media ads and Google ads or whatever those methodologies are, because that's just an area that we don't have any internal competence in. It's not that I don't want to know how to do it, because I eventually do. It's just that um, I don't want the learning curve to hold us back, especially since it's something that it sounds like you guys have dialed in pretty well.
yeah, sure. Okay, so we have in this instance we have two options that I think are most applicable to your situation. And I'm just going to talk about both of them, and we can kind of get the idea of what you resonate most with.
Okay.
Okay, so the first offer that that we have would be our middle range offer, which is a game plan. So what that relates to is basically you'll have two calls with our team. The first one's normally about 90 minutes. The second one's about 45 minutes to an hour. And the purpose of that call, the first one is to lock in your offer. So you'll go with one of our strategic directors and we'll basically sit and we'll go through with like a fine comb your offer and figure out exactly what we think is most compelling for you to offer in essence. And then we'll come back as a team, we'll sit, we'll talk about your business and all of that stuff. We'll do some competitive research and we'll basically come up with all the different areas, the marketing strategy, and create a roadmap for you basically. So we'll sit as a team, we'll figure out all of the angles, the marketing angles, your hooks, your power offers. We'll create an outline of your mini webinar, and we'll basically put together everything that you need to create this mini webinar for yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at that point, you can take what we say in this game plan and then you can execute on it yourself. Or if you like what we've shown you, then we can open a discussion about getting us to do it for you. So that's the one option. So
Oh,
how does that sound to you?
um, that that actually sounds pretty good. So for now, you said um, there were two options, and that sounded like one.
Yeah, that was one.
Oh,
So
okay.
so the
Okay, yeah.
second one, did you want to say something? I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, I just babbling.
It's no worries. Okay, so then the second one is we do provide completely done for you services. So we are predominantly a done for you agency, and what that entails is it's the same two. Well, sorry, I lied. One phone call, which is the 90-minute, is the same for both, where we talk through your offer, and basically we're trying to pluck out all the information that we need to make the webinar. So then instead of creating that game plan for you, we'd go and we'd give it to one of our copywriters, and they'd create a draft, the first draft of the mini webinar for you. We'd provide that to you within 10 days of the call. You can approve the draft, you can make changes, you can do whatever you like with that draft. And then once you give it back, we will record it for you. So it's an automated, it's not live webinar, it's an automated webinar. So we'll record it for you. We'll create the funnel, the marketing funnel for you, designed for you with copywriters and all of that. We'll write, 3 emails and 4 Facebook ads for you. And then we'll integrate the system together for you. And that's generally the done for you option. So it's basically everything that you need to get this thing up and running within 2 weeks from the phone call.
Okay. Now, for once the emails and the ads are created, and you've got the funnel built, so do you do um, is it like a one price for everything, or do you do the ad spend separately?
Okay, so we've got basically separate pricing on it. So there'll be a once-off price on the done for you option, and that'll be, we're talking in the region of about 12,500 for the full done for you option. And at that point, we have an option, we have a partner agency that can run the Facebook ads for you. So that's a separate option. It's one of our strategy directors is a guy called Matt, and he runs the Facebook ads agency. So he obviously, it's a partnership, and people that work with us get a discount to use his agency to run their ads. So he'll optimize your ads, run them, create new copy, create new imagery, optimize everything. And that's generally how that works. Yes, but that's separately invoiced from this done for you service.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, and fully optional. And as I said, something that I just want to get across is none of this is like put you in a box, templated. It's all kind of custom. We try and make it as custom fitted for your business, because we believe that every business is unique. It's tough to say you fit in that box, like you do that. So everything's custom made for you.
Okay, and
So do you have any other questions? I'm curious if there's anything that's unanswered. Is anything bothering you at the moment? Any kind of, how are you
um,
feeling about these options?
um, the done for you option sounds pretty attractive. Um, um, the 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 question is whether or not we can put together, $12,500 in the next month or so, because um, I mean, we knew we would have to make an investment, and now we know what that investment's going to look like. Basically, what you're saying is, right around 12 to 13,000 plus ad spend, right?
Yes,
Because
and we're
everything
talking.
else is included in the 12,500.
Okay, so the 12 and a half is for the entire system, but as I mentioned, the ads are separate.
Right.
So that's a separate. No, no problem. What was the last thing that you heard?
Okay, so we were just talking about the done for you option and how the 12,500 or so would include everything except for the actually running of the ads. So you'd part of that is you'd build both 3 emails and 4 Facebook ads, but then the question I had is these 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 Facebook ads are ready to run, and then I could either have your agency run them, or or we could try to do it ourselves, or were you talking about um, that also the creating of the 4 ads was separate with the Facebook agency you work with?
No. So just complete offer, the from start to finish on this done for you
Hmm.
is basically what you'd get is mini webinar. That's, I'm not sure if you're taking notes and let me know if I'm talking too quickly, but mini webinar that's recorded for you by a professional voiceover artist plus written for you, obviously by copywriters. Then you'll have a fully functioning funnel that is in your account, generally with ClickFunnels, and we optimize it, we put it into your account, all of that stuff, your own domain name, everything like that. You will have, so that funnel's fully functioning. Then you'll have emails that are going off your funnel, so reminder emails for people that opt in but don't apply, that kind of thing.
Hmm.
And then we'll also have the Facebook ads, and that's generally the offer for the done for you, and that falls under that 12,500 bracket.
Okay, so that basically includes the entire package except for the actual cost of running the ads.
Yes. So if
Okay.
you decided to take our partner agency for the ads, then we would give them the ads that we made for you, and they'd start running those for you. Basically, they just manage your accounts and scale and basically optimize things. That's what they do.
Okay. And I hate to be a cheapskate, but so what the game plan offer, what does that run for?
So that's just $5,000.
Okay.
And I mean, it could be a very compelling, sorry, I'm stuttering, a compelling option in your case, just because you have copywriting experience. So, I mean, we're creating the power offers for you. It's kind of done for you light, the light version,
Hmm.
but you just have to implement it. And if you have someone that's comfortable recording the webinar and all of that, then I mean, it's a good option as well.
Okay. Um,
So I forgot to mention, you also get access to Joel's high ticket courses program. So it's a digital course, and that'll also teach you how to basically make these mini webinars. It's the methodology behind making it. So you're not just stuck high and dry with a game plan. It's like you'll get the course that teaches you how to make the mini webinar,
hmm.
and also you'll have our recommendations. We'll say this is the outline of what we think it should look like, and we'll give you our agency templates and stuff like that, so you can make a professional mini webinar, just not using us as copywriters, basically.
Right.
And also, if it helps you, another thing that we can possibly help you with, we had a client, this isn't normal, but there's a chance that we could get one of our directors to review your webinar if you wanted to.
And that's for the do-it-yourself game plan offer. The
Yes.
Okay.
So as I said, the person, one of our directors reviewing it is separate. It's not something that we normally do, but we have in the past had requests for that from people. So it's possible. I just need to ask one of the directors if they wanted to, if they had capacity to do that.
Okay. Um, so when you work with somebody on an engagement like this, hang on, computer keeps trying to hibernate. I need to set the temperature on the cores higher, I guess. Sorry about that. Um, how long does it usually uh, take? Um, so on the completely done for you thing, the one for 12,500, how long does that usually take from start to when you first start sending ads out?
So that's generally okay. So it's about 2 to 3 weeks to have that you start sending ads out
Mm-hmm.
from the date of your phone call. And then we found that to get like proper traction, it's taking about it's taking about 20 to 30 days after that, whereas we'll work with you to make sure that you're getting results basically. So we'll never just leave you high and dry, and we'll basically work with you until you're getting appointments, regularly into your calendar.
Mm-hmm.
So that's but 2 to 3 weeks, I'd say you should be, getting appointments in your calendar, the things running properly, everything like that.
Okay. And on the outline version, how long does that normally take?
Normally about 5 days from the phone call. Yeah. Is that good for you?
Yeah, yeah. I'm trying to um,
You're
kind of
processing.
yeah, and I'm
So how are you feeling towards these? Are you resonating towards one of them? Are you resonating towards none of them? What's your temperature on this currently?
um, well, probably like many of the people you talk to, it's about raising the money. I mean, obviously, the done for you version resonates most strongly because it leaves the least amount of uh, to chance, right? Because I mean, we have confidence in certain things that we do, but this, building the machine and the funnel, and the webinar, and doing that all together. Um, for us to do that on our own, seems like it would take at least, at 2 to 3 months to create. And you're talking about being able to do it in 2 to 3 weeks. Um, Plus, there's the added value of having someone who really understands Facebook ads driving traffic into the funnel. Um, so, I mean, that's super attractive. The question there is how do we come up with $12,500? The 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 partial do-it-yourself option, I don't think is something that we could do because I just again, there's parts of what you're talking about in there. I mean, my partners have good experience. Crap. Um, Working with video, but we've never put together a webinar. Or we use video to communicate, but we haven't had something that structured before. Um, so I just don't think that the do-it-yourself option will work for us. The question is whether or not we can raise the $12,500.
So, just a few things that you should be aware of is we can provide you with 50% payment plans. So that's 6,250 down payment, and then the same on completion, which is about three or so weeks later. That is an option, but I'd also recommend budgeting for ad spend. So
Yeah, do you have an idea what that would look like?
about $50 to $100 a day is what we recommend. But as I said, it's custom for your business. So it could be less, it could be more, but that's generally what we recommend.
Okay. All right. So, um, yeah, it's pretty obvious to me that we would go for the done for you option. So now the question is, what the three of us need to do to put together the money, and that remains a big question. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get back to my partners and have a serious conversation about whether or not we can raise that kind of money. Um,
Okay, that's no problem. So is there any other reason other than the money why this wouldn't make sense for you?
no, no,
Okay, so
it's
if
it's
we
it's.
can make, yeah,
I was going to say no. Obviously we know of Joel's work, and what you're talking about makes perfect sense, and it would, from a cost standpoint, we would save so much time by having somebody else put together the funnel and do all this stuff. So yeah, it really just comes down to the money.
okay, cool. That's perfect. So would you like to organize another call, a follow-up call for this, or how would you want to proceed with follow-up?
Um, let's see. I have a meeting um, on Saturday with the partners, so we'll get together and I'll go through the both offers with them so that they understand and why I favor the done for you option, and then I can get back to you Monday. So and I'll send you an email. It'll probably be over the weekend, but so you'll see it when you come in on Monday morning, and let you know um, if we're ready to go ahead and schedule that next call. Now, do you normally do as part of your process? Do you generally do an additional call in between the call we just had and that 90-minute call that kicks off the project?
No, so once you make payment, you'll get an intake form, and that'll give you basically a whole bunch of questions, but they are designed to help our strategic director to like suck out the information that they need from you.
Sure.
So you'll get questions like describe a story where you failed. What is an aha moment that you had when you realize that your service works? Things like that. So you can just sit with that as a team or however you want, and you fill out that form, and then that's basically our way to prep you for the call. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Okay, so I guess the next step is I need to have a conversation with my partners, and then Monday or over the weekend, I'll let you know if we'd like to go forward, and if necessary, we might schedule, a brief call with all four of us, with my two partners and I and you, just to make sure they don't have any outstanding questions before we kick off.
Yeah, that's no problem. Okay, so just I'd love to ask one favor. And you said that you've had experience with sales calls.
Uh-huh.
So just from, from my side, I can take a no as easy as I can take a yes. But if you at any point decide that you're not interested, could you please let me know so that, I don't have to chase you, you don't have to feel chased, anything like that. Is that fair?
That's absolutely fair. And yeah, by the time you're sipping your coffee on Monday morning, you'll have a hard yes or no.
Cool. Awesome. So I'm happy to have another call with you. Just let me know. Other than that, I'll follow up with you on Monday as well, just to make sure that you're reminded.
Perfect.
And other than that, yeah, it was great to talk to you. And I think you have something really exciting to discuss on Saturday.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Um,
Awesome.
this could this could be the thing that we've been looking for to kind of push us forward to where we need to be going. Um, I very much appreciate your time.
Yeah, sure. I appreciate your time as well. And thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend, John. Good
Great.
luck.
You as well. Thank you very much.
Okay, awesome. Cheers.
Cheers.